Hello, good morning everyone. Great to be with you on this Wednesday morning. Most of us enjoy the story of David because it's such a human story. A guy who has his tremendous strengths, a man of deep spirituality, and who almost the next day could somewhat disgrace himself with bad behavior. And sometimes the story of David is like a mirror in which we see ourselves. We know what we can do and what we're capable in terms of all that is wonderful, of worshiping God and of serving Him. But on the other hand, we understand ourselves as having what we call feet of clay, and we can so easily stumble and fall. Well, you remember the story of David and Bathsheba. David had a relationship with Bathsheba. Bathsheba was married. David's ego was somewhat overbearing, I imagine. And he saw this rather attractive woman, and you know what happened. Bathsheba becomes pregnant. And David has to make a plan to somehow eliminate her husband Uriah, which he does. This is the same guy who wrote Psalm 23, the same guy that wrote Psalm 27, all those wonderful pieces. And now he's complicit in a murder, because although Uriah died on the battlefield, it was because of David's strategy to eliminate him that he died. David knew what he had done, although nobody else did. You know, he kind of covered his tracks as best as he could. He began to wear a mask. Afterwards, they all thought of this wonderful, wonderful guy. Meanwhile, behind the mask, he was carrying a secret. He was carrying something that he knew was not good. It was undermining his life, gnawing away at his health. Read Psalm 32 and you come across that. He said, I knew that there was stuff in my life, the sin that I had committed, and it's eating away. It's eating away at my health. It's eating away at my bones. That's quite an admission, day after day after day. Everybody thought everything was hunky-dory, but in my heart of hearts, in my personal, deep personal level, I knew what was going on. It was all pretense in the public world. Privately, I'm not sure how it was going with Bathsheba, but personally, deep in his own soul, he was a man in trouble, really confused, dysfunctional, and his health was packing up. And then Nathan the prophet comes along. You remember? Tells David the story about a man, very poor man, who had one little lamb. And he loved that lamb with all his heart. And there was a rich man who lived quite nearby, and he had guests for dinner. And rather than kill a sheep or a lamb from his own herd, he gave an instruction that that little lamb belonging to that poor man was to be taken away, killed, and they could have a grand feast together. Nathan tells David that David is so angry. He says, get that man, bring him to me, and let's kill him, execute him. And Nathan says to him, you are the guy. You are that man. And David suddenly realizes that the mask is down. No longer can he hide behind the mask. No longer. It's out. It's out. And David comes before God, and you can read what he writes. Psalm 51. He says, God have mercy on me. God have mercy on me. I mean, we read at him, and it was written, I guess, in first instance as a personal statement. Lord, you know me. You know all about me. I ask you to cleanse me and purge me with hyssop, that I may be whole again. And he says this, you desire truth in the inmost being. What does that mean? It says, may I be a man of integrity inside. May the way I walk day by day in this community in my palace as King of Israel, may that reflect what's going on inside. Lord, give me integrity, give me purity of heart. Help me to be consistent in my walk. And as God touched this man inside. So we now have Psalm 51. It's out there, it's public. His personal life and his public life are the same. The mask has gone. Now, whatever secret you may be carrying, folks, know this. You're not judged for it. A very loving God comes to you and he says, come on, let's start over anew. Let's get behind that mask. Let's get into the deep, deep place of your soul. And let's start a new work there, a recreation, a healing. And then see where God takes you from there. So don't resist. Don't fight that conscience. Just come before the Lord and say, God, you know me. You know me like an open book. Make me a better man, a better woman. Help me to walk in the light. God be with you.